and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Makakwadash. I want to go into Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. I put together some. I'm not going to read the whole chapter, but I'm going to go to some precepts, and then I'm going to go to this breaking news story. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 22. Yahweh shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning. Inflammation, burning, consumption, fever. You see, Jake, from the foods that they eat and the lifestyle that they live, they develop many sicknesses. You see older people walking with, walkers and wheelchairs. You see a Jake woman, and I've seen this before, in a wheelchair, smoking a damn Newport. They bring this upon themselves. That's a curse. It says, 22nd verse again, Yahweh shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, now with a fever, one of the symptoms of so-called Crown Vic Royale is a fever. This is maybe a year and a half ago, I went to this court. And before I went, they put the thermometer, whatever, to your forehead to see what your temperature's like. If your temperature's high, that's a symptom of Crown Vic. I went to this one building. I forget where it was, but when you walk through, there was a sort of a robotic thermometer, and it read your temperature as you pass by, and the robot would say 98.7 on 97.1, and it say something to the effect of you're good. So these are some of the symptoms of the Crown Vic. But I'm going to show you a breaking news of something that's far worse than the Crown Vic. It says, 22nd verse again, Yahweh shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with an inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish. '27th verse. Yahweh shall smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with hemorrhoids, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed. '35 and 36 of verses 35 and 36. Yahweh shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. 36th verse. Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king. I want to focus on this precept right here. Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. Let me read that again. 30, Deuteronomy 28, verse 36. Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, and that's talking about King David, and not just King David, it's talking about all the kings. The first king of Israel, Saul, King David, Solomon, and all the kings down the line. They all went into captivity except for Solomon. That was our Lord. There's a thing called reincarnation. I'll read it again, 36th verse. Yahweh shall bring thee, and I'm going to show you that this is talking about America and where we were scattered. It says, Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee. And ultimately the king of Israel under Yahushai is King David. Now, King David was never enslaved by any other nation. When he passed, his son took over. And the kingdom was great during the time of King David, but it became even greater during the time of Solomon, because that is Yahushai, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus. It says, unto a nation, one nation, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. So you got guys saying, well, that's talking about the Assyrian captivity, or that's talking about the Babylonian captivity. It's not talking about that, because we know these nations. We know we were neighbors to the Babylonians, to the Assyrians, to Moab, to Ammon, to Edom, to Ishmael. We know all those nations. So it's not, now you can say that it's talking about Rome. Yes, it's talking about Rome. But it's actually talking about America, the second Rome, whose deadly wound was healed. That's America. NATO and the EU. Read that one more time. Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. Now, when the Romans took us over, when the Romans took Palestine over, or Israel over, they allowed us to worship our God. They allowed us to keep the high holy days. They allowed us to wear our garments, speak our language. The only thing that was required of us was to pay a tax, which is a tribute. We were tributaries to the Roman Empire. We wasn't bound down to no Roman gods. So this is actually talking about America and the places that we were scattered. Because why do we worship gods, wood and stone, which represent the churches, which in your churches is idols? Because they forced it. They took away the fact that we were Israelites. And I did other videos in the past where you have signs where they said to be sold a cargo of fine, healthy Negroes. And you also saw signs of to be sold a cargo of fine, healthy Hebos. 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 Why would they call Hebos? They're really saying Hebrews. You know, these crackers, they can't talk. They can't talk right. Hebos. which sounds like Ebo, Hebrews. Verses, Deuteronomy 28, verses 59, 60, and 61. Then Yahweh will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sicknesses, and of long continuance. When you go to the hood, you go to any hospital, you can do this, take a camera or whatever. You go to any hospital, you go to the emergency room, it's always packed. It's always packed. Because Jake stays sick because of their diet. Ultimately, because of the curses. And you know who's real sick? Our woman, they're sick. And most of the time you see a handicap parking, and it's our woman, for the most part, young woman coming out, and they're walking fine. They don't have crutches and shit, walkers. They just sick. So they're so sick to the point where they get that handicap sign to put in their car, and they're consuming these this garbage for the most part, and on top of that, these pills that they got to take. Our women, they get a hangnail, or what do you call that, a ingrown toenail, and they'll run right to the emergency room. Verse 60, Deuteronomy 28, verse 60. Moreover, he will bring upon thee all the diseases of Egypt. Originally, Egypt is Mizraim, which thou wast afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. So those old plagues, those old diseases, going back as far as ancient Egypt, they're still here. It said also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, then will Yahweh bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. So now I want to go to breaking news. There was one politician that said, if anything happens in politics, meaning in the news, any major thing, it was planned that way. If anybody knows the person that made that statement, you can put it in the comment section of this video. Anyway, it says smallpox viral found at vaccine research facility. Smallpox, and you know how deadly smallpox is. This is what Esau used against the natives. Gad, the tribe of Gad, the tribe of Reuben. He said, we're giving you blankets. We're giving you blankets because we love you. They got the blankets to keep warm. And what was in those blankets? Smallpox, which was supposed to be eradicated. Now, let me read this again. Right here. Smallpox vials found at vaccine research facility. Fox News. Vials of deadly virus accidentally discovered at Pennsylvania Research Facility, Vaccine Research Facility. while cleaning freezer CDC. Wait a minute. So they had smallpox contained in a freezer? So somebody was cleaning, oh, let's clean out this. Oh, wait a minute. What does it say? Smallpox. The plot thickens. Dark winter. Look up, go to Google and look up Dark Winter. Or Operation Dark Winter. So I thought they eradicated smallpox. No, they kept it in vials. It says several frozen vials labeled smallpox were incidentally discovered by a laboratory worker while cleaning out a freezer in a facility. I'm not going to read the rest. CBS News. This was 57 minutes ago. It's 7 a.m. 7:04 a.m. CBS News. Frozen vials mark smallpox found in lab freezer in Pennsylvania, CDC says. Philadelphia federal health authorities on Wednesday confirmed the discovery of some frozen vials labeled smallpox in a freezer FBI investigates smallpox vials found in Pennsylvania lab while cleaning out a freezer at a Pennsylvania vaccine research facility. A lab worker discovered several frozen vials labeled smallpox. Operation Dark Winter. I believe when you read it, I'm not going to go to it, you do it. You do the research. Operation, they might take this video down, but Operation, if they do, I'll put it up on Odyssey. Hopefully they don't take this down. FBI launches probe after smallpox is found in Merck facility while cleaning out a freezer. Merck. Let's deal with this word Merck. Do this. But we know what Merck is all about. I'll do another video on that. So this is a Merck facility, and we know you heard the term Merck. It's one of the pharmaceutical companies that make the vaccine. FBI launches probe after smallpox is found in Merck facility while cleaning out a freezer. Smallpox was eradicated. No, it's not. You found vials in the freezer. Smallpox was eradicated with a successful mass vaccination campaign after it killed an estimated 300 million people in the 20th century. That's the 1900s. Germ warfare, chemical warfare. Smallpox vials found at Merck lab in suburban Philadelphia facility. A batch of vials labeled smallpox, a deadly disease eradicated since the 7th. It wasn't eradicated because you had these vials. Somebody contained it. 1970s was found in the freezer and immediately quarantined. Vials labeled smallpox. This is NBC News, 11 hours ago. Vials labeled smallpox found by lab worker cleaning the freezer in Pennsylvania. Vials labeled as smallpox were discovered at a Pennsylvania lab. The Centers of Disease Control and Prevention said Wednesday. FBI, CDC investigating vials labeled smallpox found in lab freezer. A lab worker at a vaccine research facility in Pennsylvania, Merck, found a small number of frozen vials labeled smallpox in the freezer. The CDC, you can click and read the rest of the article. This is the Philly Voice. Vials labeled smallpox discovered at Merck. At Merck lab in Montgomery County prompt FBI investigation. Vials potentially containing the deadly smallpox virus were discovered at Merck lab outside Pennsylvania on Tuesday, leading to a temporary. I'm not going to click on it. Matter of fact, you know what? I am going to click on it. Let's click on it. Oh, you even got a video. Wow. Let's take the word Merck. I looked up symptoms of smallpox symptoms: fever, overall discomfort, headache, severe fatigue, severe back pain, vomiting, blah blah blah. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, it says as Merck and Pfizer predict incoming billions. It's all about money. Predict incoming billions from their Crown Vic drugs. Anyway, I'm gonna say shalom.